Telway second graders. I'll bet that everybody knows what shape you get if you have three sides. Hopefully you said triangle. Tri means three. There's three angles. There's three sides. It's a triangle. Now, you guys did some work with constructive triangles to make different quadrilaterals, both in the primary classroom and in the lower L classroom. So you should be familiar with how triangles can get together to make new shapes. But I want to show you that there's different ways of naming triangles themselves. So they're all called triangles, but they all also have their own kind of family that they're in. So I'm going to move the camera so that you can see the table that I'm working on, and it'll be blue so that you can really see the sticks really well. Okay, so triangles need to have three sides. But think for a moment about the word triangle. Do you hear that angle in there? That's going to give you a clue about how we name some triangles. Now there's other ways also, but we're just going to stick with the angle part for right now. So angle. So if you look at that angle right there, what do you notice about it? Do you notice it's a right angle, like the perfect corner of a perfect square? Now, if a triangle has even one right angle, it is called a right triangle or a right angle triangle. So this right triangle, it has two sides right now, but I can't use the same side here because I want to keep that angle a right angle, but I can use that one. So this is now a right angle triangle, a right triangle. I'm going to move that so you can see it. Okay, that says right. Now, the other two kinds of triangles that I'm going to make, I'm only going to make three, so try to learn these three names. The other two are related to the right angle. So it's either if it's a triangle with a bigger or smaller than a right angle. So let's start with a triangle that, okay, so there's my right triangle. So if I now had a triangle that angle was smaller, see how it's getting smaller? The angle is now smaller than a right angle. And it could be any amount that's smaller. It could be itty bitty. It could be almost a right. I like to put it kind of in the middle so that it shows it really well. So now I've got a right angle, or a smaller than a right angle, and our name for an angle, hopefully this will sound familiar to you, our name for an angle that is smaller than a right angle is acute. It's a cute little angle. Look how cute it is. It is acute. So acute, smaller than a right angle, a cute little angle. Well, we need another side here. Let's see, maybe that one's got to be pretty short. Yeah, so now I have an acute angle triangle. Acute. All right, so my next one, I'm going to put my right triangle back. Start with my right angle. Now this last one, the acute, was smaller. So this one it's going to be bigger. And I like to think of a big open mouth. Obtuse. So an obtuse triangle is got an angle. It has an angle that is larger than a right angle. See how it's larger? Obtuse. Obtuse. It's like a big open mouth. Now it needs a third side to be a triangle. There we go. Obtuse. Now, I want to draw your attention to the fact, oh, you can't really see that one. Let me see if I can get a different color that shows up really well. There. You can see that one better than the black. Okay, so an obtuse, see that one obtuse angle? Well, look at those two angles. I don't know if you can tell, but those are two acute angles. But it's not an acute triangle because it has that obtuse angle. If it has even one obtuse angle, it is an obtuse triangle. So if it has even one right angle, which that's all it can have, so if it has a right angle, it's called a right triangle. If it has an obtuse angle, it's called an obtuse triangle. Now, the acute has all of its angles being acute. They're so cute over here. So obtuse. So I'm going to remake it over here. All right. So here I have a right triangle, an obtuse triangle, and an acute triangle. A right, obtuse, acute. Right, obtuse, acute. So on your paper, I'd like you to use a ruler because triangles have straight sides, or anything that can help you make a straight line. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a piece of cardboard. You can fold over paper till it's strong. You can use the side of a box. I'm sure your parents can help you find something that will help you draw a straight line, because it's not the measurements on here that matters right now. It's the straight side. So we can call this a straight edge instead of a ruler. So you want to take your straight edge and you want to draw 3 triangles. Since it's the right triangle, I want to start with drawing my right angle, and I can kind of eyeball it. I can tell if it looks like the perfect corner of a perfect square, and it does. So then what I do is I just connect the other 2 corners. And one of the ways in geometry that we mark right angles, instead of a curved line, we go a little square there. Oh, a hair on there. So instead of a curved, I'm going to do a little square, and that's going to show that that is supposed to be a right angle. In geometry, that's understood to be a right angle now. Okay, I'm going to do the next one, obtuse. I'm going to start with making an obtuse angle, and then I'll connect the 2 sides. Now, there's a right angle, so I want it to be bigger than a right angle, larger than a right angle. Okay, that's an obtuse angle, and to make it a triangle, I connect it and make the 3rd side. Now I want to draw attention to my obtuse angle, so I'm going to go curve right there to show that that's my obtuse angle. I don't want to make a box because that stands for right. There's my obtuse, and now my acute. I'm going to make an acute angle. There's one arm of my angle, one side of my triangle, and here's another one. And with the acute, you have to be careful that one of your angles doesn't turn into an obtuse. So I'm gonna make sure. Let's see. There, if I go like that. See how I moved my straight edge around until I could see that all of my angles are right? And then you can just take your eraser and just erase the extra. So with this one, that one's acute, that one's acute, and that one's acute. Another way to do the acute one, because making sure it doesn't accidentally turn into an obtuse one can be tricky. One of the ways you can do it is you can make sure all the sides are the same length, or you can just draw a skinny bottom or a short bottom, and then you try to make it a little taller. My triangles. There. So that's acute, and that's acute. And if you notice also up at the top, I didn't write out the entire word for triangle. I used shorthand. It's a little picture of a triangle and then an S after it. It says, means triangles. You could also just write triangles. Careful with that LE. If you write EL, it'll say triangles. So triangles. Triangles. Acute, obtuse, right.